I'm gonna lock in because we're gearing up to read Onyx Storm. I am eating it up. So it's matcha time. I have 200 pages to read. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be a bit of a challenge. It's going to be attempting to read 200 pages a day for a week. Now this is going to be a challenge for me because I kind of fell into a slump at the end of 2024 and then have ever so slightly slowly been trying to build back up to where I was last year of how many books I was reading and getting through a month, and I feel like this will be a great way to push myself to read a certain amount of pages a day and just kind of get through some books like I used to, you know? Also, I have just got back off of my family holiday, so I feel like off the back of that I read like 3 and a bit books last week, so that was a really great start, and I want to kind of carry that on into this week and hopefully we will get some good books done. Also, I'm using this challenge as a way to get through Iron Flame because Onyx Storm is coming out very soon and I've still not read Iron Flame, so I really need to get to that. It is so dark today as well, as you can tell. It's literally lunchtime and it's this dark and it's drizzly and it's horrible weather, so I feel like it's a great way to start off the challenge because I'm not going to be going outside, so I can definitely kick the challenge off to a good start, I guess. I have made a little mini TBR for this video, so I do have some books that I want to prioritise. I am really making it a priority full stop to get through each monthly TBR, because last year I was picking TBRs and then literally not reading a single book off of them, but this year I'm not doing that. I'm gonna prioritise every TBR that I choose for myself that month. Those are the books that I can pick from, and I enjoy that anyway, so I don't know why I wasn't doing that last year. But yeah, I have got some books that I am going to prioritise this year, so not this year, this video. So these are the books that I'm going to prioritise for today's video, so let's run through them. So obviously, first things first, of course, we have Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, because we're gearing up to read Onyx Storm, which comes out at the end of January. You may be thinking, Lily, you have had a year, probably over a year now, to read Iron Flame, because I actually finished Fourth Wing, I want to say summer 2023, and then I just never looked back. I bought this off of Vinted and then didn't ever pick it up, so here we are now, literally on a time crunch to finish it before Onyx Storm comes out. I just didn't have the urge to pick this book up, but now I have the urge. I think I just needed the pressure of the third book coming out to finally be yes, I want to read it. So I have read 50 pages of this book, but that's all. That's literally all. And this week I really want to finish it, so we're gonna definitely prioritise this one. I'm so excited, but she's a Brit. The next book I have is Beartown by Frederick Backman. I am I'm 330 pages into this book, so we have just over 100 pages, so I'm probably going to start with this so we can finish it off, because I just want to kind of finish this one off, obviously, because I'm quite far into it. So I'll probably start with this one today. So far I am enjoying it, but it's not what I expected. It's not, I kind of just went in thinking this is going to be, I'm going to rate this 5 stars, I know it, but I've not really thought that at all so far. Maybe the ending will change it, but so far I'm enjoying it. I think it's a fun and not fun. I really need to stop saying that when I'm describing this book. It's a enjoyable read so far, but it's just not what I kind of expected. And then the last book I'm going to prioritise for this week is Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I have been craving some good old fashioned romance recently, just a classic romance book. I feel like I've read a lot of non-romance and I just really crave just a cheesy romance book right now, especially a sports one, an ice hockey one. That is just ideal. So I am going to read this week because it's about time and I really want to get on with the rest of the series. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So they are the books I want to prioritise this week. I am going to start off today, see if I can read the first 200 pages. I'm going to do this challenge Monday through to Saturday and then close off the challenge. So hopefully I will be able to complete it, but I'm going to be super transparent. If I can't finish it one day, I will obviously be real and let you guys know, because reading 200 pages a day is a challenge to me. That is quite a lot of pages. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed I can do it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I am just having a avocado bagel and a 7-Up, very green meal, whilst I finish the last 50 pages of Beartown. I officially have 50 pages left of it, and that will mean after I've read this 50 pages, I've read 150 pages today, so I only need to read 50 pages of another book, and I've completed the 200 for the day, which actually feels amazing because it's made me finish this book and I've got through another book, which is crazy. But yeah, I'll give my full thoughts and feelings once I read the last 50 pages. But for now, I'm going to sit, eat my avocado bagel and read. I finished Beartown earlier, so that one is ticked off my list, and I am now left with 50 pages to read tonight. Not gonna lie, I could not think of anything worse than reading 50 pages right now. I'm so tired, and I just, you know, you just don't want to. That is me right now. I feel like 150 pages for me today was like perfect, but we've got to squeeze in the last 50 pages, so of course I'm gonna pick up the next book, and I'm actually not going to read this tomorrow. I'm going to read Iron Flame tomorrow, but I feel like tonight I can't read Iron Flame because I'll just fall asleep. Not because it's bad, because the words are so, like, the font is so small and it's quite like a lot going on, a lot of politics, things like that. So I'm just going to read 50 pages of, is that focusing? Of this book tonight and just kind of start it off, you know, and just get in the last 50 pages. And then tomorrow I will update on my thoughts and feelings on Beartown and the beginning of this book, Behind the Net. I am also in my fluffy pyjamas because it's absolutely freezing right now, so the fluffy pyjamas had to come out. They are in full force and these ones are so warm and fuzzy and cozy. Love them. Morning, it's the next day now. I did in fact finish my last 50 pages last night, but before we start any reading today, we're gonna make a matcha. So it's matcha time. I know this is a candy cane cup, but ignore that. I know it's January now and Christmas is technically up. Well, it is over, but it's my favorite cup. Okay, so before I get a new one, I will be using her again. This is the matcha that I use. It's the Bird and Blend ginger nut matcha. It's my absolute favorite. It's so nice. I'm going to use almond milk for this matcha because that is just my personal milk of choice preference. I'm going to give it a shake as well. Shake, shake, shake. I have almost run out of this matcha as well, which is so sad. Also, before anyone says anything, I am using a metal whisk instead of like the bamboo whisks because I don't have one and I just have to make do, okay? I know that I think it like cancels out the flavour or like the nutritious value or something, but I've got to make do. Okay, so it's an update time. I did actually manage yesterday to complete the challenge. Yay! Everyone do a round of applause for me. I completed the challenge. Woo! I completed day 1 of the challenge, not the challenge. But anyway, that meant that I managed to finish Beartown by Frederick Backman. I think I'm going to settle on a rating of... like, I'm still torn between a 3.75 and a 4-star. I will pop it on the screen when I've had time to stew it over and give you my final review or rating. But yeah, it's not a book like I've ever read before. It's so different in so many ways to anything I've ever read. It was so unique in that aspect. Basically, it follows a small town, and this small town is like really struggling. They don't get enough money, people are losing jobs, it's very hidden in the forest. Like, it is a small forest town, and the people in it kind of all rely on this hockey rink or this hockey team to bring them to success, you know? So they're really putting a lot of pressure on the junior hockey team who is having a match at some point, and these people are like 15 to 17, so they're below 18, they're very young, and they've got a lot of pressure on them to kind of win and things like that. And at first you're like rooting for the team, you know, you're rooting for the hockey, and then something horrible happens. and I'm not going to say what, no spoilers obviously, but something horrible happens and it splits the town in half. And when I read the blurb, I didn't understand what the thing would be or anything like that, but the thing that it was honestly very sad, very heartbreaking, and you get to see the town and how this act brings them into complete like split down the middle. Some people do not want to believe it, some people are like, how can you say that this didn't happen? And it's basically about what a town will go to, the lengths that a town will go to cover up such a horrid act, and what they will do to kind of play blind to horrible things that are happening just because they're so desperate for their town to survive. And it really put into perspective like how much like this town relies on the sport of hockey. And at first I was like, how am I gonna want to read a whole book about hockey? But you do really get hooked because every like paragraph is a different POV. It just constantly is switching POVs. You never get bored. You're never in the same person's POV for longer than like a page. And I love that we got to see so many different townspeople and their POV throughout this situation and what they're truly thinking in their mind. And we also got to see some character development from some characters, and we basically just got to see like everyone and how, you know, they're all thinking different things, how they're all like, some people will band together, other people will band together. And I love that we got like everyone's point of view in the town. I felt like I knew everyone in the town. I felt like I believed it was a real town, and I loved how, yeah, it was just so different. Like, I don't know, I loved how this had so many POVs, because I think if it didn't, it would have read a little bit boring in parts, because it does get a bit slow at times, but you definitely learn to love more like some characters more than others, and you hate some characters. It was a really well done book, and I felt like Frederick Backman writes amazingly. He really told the story perfectly to me, and I would really recommend this book. Check trigger warnings, of course. I'm definitely going to read the next 2 books because I genuinely don't know what they could be about. This felt pretty rounded off to me. I'm not sure if the other book's going to follow the same characters or if they're going to follow different characters. I'm very confused, but I definitely need to read them, I think, this year, because it was really good, unlike anything I've ever read before. If you're looking for a very impactful, hard-hitting, unique book that's got that wintry vibe, I highly recommend reading Beartown. And then obviously I had 50 pages left over, so I decided to go into Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. And this was because I didn't want to pick up Iron Flame because I knew that I'd fall asleep because there's so much to like get your head around. I wanted a low brain power book to go into, so I picked this one, and I think I'm going to carry on reading it today because I didn't even want to put it down last night. If I wasn't so tired, I would have kept reading, because this just hooked me right from the get-go. You get straight into the plot, straight into the characters, and so far, like, I am obsessed. It was making me giggle, it was making me love the characters, love the romance, and I just, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna love this book. I'm very excited to get more into it. It's so low brain power, but at the same time it's so like refreshing. I just love a sports romance like this, and so far it's given me such a cute vibe. Like, the main guy, you know, he seems to her like he is this really cold guy who's like very mean and offstandish, but then in his head he's like, oh my god, like, I'm freaking out, this girl is just gorgeous, blah 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 blah, and like you see in his head and you're like, oh my god, like, this guy is obsessed with her and she doesn't know it, but in his head he's like, oh, I hope I'm like acting cool, like, do you know what I mean? And it was so good. So I think I'm going to carry on with this one today because it's just, I don't want to put it down, to be honest. I want to keep reading it, and then we'll read Iron Flame after this one. I feel like I need like a palette cleanser book after this one. This one was quite heavy, so we need to go into something more, you know, these are two hockey books, but very, very different. I'm going to go do some more reading. I'm going to try hit the goal for the day. I'll keep you posted if I manage to do it, or if I don't, obviously. Fingers crossed that I do, but hopefully I'll get way more into this book and really start to see the characters more, and together I'm so excited. Like, this book might be a 5-star for me. Don't want to speak too soon, but it might be. We have 100 pages left to go. Not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. It's quite late, I'm quite tired. Ended up having a very stressful day. I will catch you guys up tomorrow, but for tonight we're just going to see if we can read the next 100 pages, because I actually don't know if I can. It is the next day now. It's time for an update. Yesterday I feel like I barely spoke to you guys because basically everything was going fine. I'd read the first 100 pages for the day over behind the net, and then I basically was driving to take my car to get serviced at the garage, and on my way to the garage my car literally made the loudest bang noise, and I was driving and I was like, "Ooh, what was that?" So I quickly pulled over, and it turns out the wheel had like fully burst and basically exploded. So that was really great. And basically like my tyre was just completely to the metal, like there was no tyre anymore, and I basically had to get towed home. My car had to be towed home, and then yeah, that kind of took up a little bit of the day, but then everything was fine, you know, things happen, whatever, it's all good, I'm fine. It was just like, why would this happen on the way to the garage? Like on the way, I was halfway there. Anyway, so yeah, I got back and I did actually manage to complete the goal for the day, which was 200 pages of course. I did finish the full page limit. I managed to get up to page 250 in Behind the Net, which so far, guys, this is such a good romance book. I am eating it up, like eating it up. I can't get enough. The tension in this book, the tension, it's off the charts. All I want to do is read about these characters. I love them. I love both characters, and I especially love them together. They are perfect for each other, and the tension that Stephanie Archer has written is like unreal. It basically is about a guy who is a hockey goalie, and he needed an assistant because he's like moved to a new city, he started a new team, and then he comes across this dog, and basically the dog, he's like, don't know where you've come from, but I can't leave you here. But then he's like, I've not got enough time to look after said dog, so he hires an assistant, and it turns out the assistant that the company have sent is his old high school crush. Why can I not get that sentence out? Yeah, and it turns out she had a crush on him in high school, he had a crush on her, and it's the cutest thing. The tension is off the charts. I can't get enough. It's really made me realise how much I just love a romance book, and it's kind of made me feel, it's like give me that love for reading again, you know what I mean? I feel like I was getting a bit like, oh, Page the Dragon, but then this, I don't want to put it down. And because she's his assistant, she's actually like his live-in assistant, so she has a room there, so they literally are living in like forced proximity. It's like grumpy sunshine, but not, because he's grumpy on the exterior, but he's actually like a big sunshine guy. He's so nice, and it's kind of like he cares for everyone in his life, and she's trying to get him to be cared for, if you know what I mean. And she's just come out of a horrible toxic relationship, so she's kind of finding herself as well. There's lots of layers to this story. I love it so much, and I'm definitely going to continue with the series. So today I'm going to read the last section of the book, and I will end up finishing it, and I think I'll have about 50 or so pages left. So I'm going to go in with Iron Flame once I've hit the goal for the day of, no, once I finish this book and I'll have the 50 pages, I'll go in with Iron Flame and then hit the goal for the day. Yeah. But that is why I didn't update too much yesterday. I'm sorry about that, but I was all over the place. Okay, yeah. I have just finished Behind the Net, which leaves me with 50 pages left to read tonight, and I'm gonna read 50 pages of Iron Flame because that is the last book that I wanted to read in this challenge. And I'm not gonna lie, I think where I'm going wrong this week is I keep leaving all the pages till the end of the day, and then I have to read them all right as I'm about to go to bed, and it's like, oh, I have to stay awake, I have to finish all these pages. So I probably should start reading like some in the morning, just like spacing them out through the day. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. But yeah, I have once again left them all till the end of the day, so I've been like reading tonight, but I'm gonna do like a full review tomorrow on this book because I just kind of want to get the reading done tonight. And obviously I will say what I've thought about the first initial 100 pages of Iron Flame, because I am already 50 pages into this book, so I just need to read 50 tonight and I'll be at 100. But yeah, that's my update. I am kind of tired, so I think, guys, if you're going to do this challenge, space out the pages. Don't be like me and leave it till the end of the night, because you'll be wanting to get into bed and go to sleep and you'll be like, I have 150 pages left to read. Today I also reorganised my bookshelf. I'll quickly show you because I really like the layout of it. Okay, this is the new layout. So I've kind of like switched that shelf up there, and then we've got this. The lighting's not fab right now, but I just thought I'd quickly show you because I love it. I've got Fancy on the bottom now, and then kind of like just random miscellaneous there. Magnolia Parks and his Addicted / Calloway Sisters. And then I really wanted to display these books, so I put them there because I just love the covers. And then this is kind of like all romance, kind of like small town romance vibes. And then ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and some more romance. And then up top we've got Boys of Tommen, some hardbacks, classics, some Ali Hazelwood. And yeah, that's the finished look. I'm joining you in the same place as I did my update yesterday. I have started the reading goal for today. I've read 100 pages of Iron Flame. Guys, it feels crazy to say that I have officially like properly started reading this book because I've been saying it for so long at this point, so it feels kind of crazy that I'm actually doing it. But yeah, I'm officially on page 202. So we've got, I think we've literally got like 98 pages left to read for today's goal. I will say I'm finding this one a lot slower to read than, say, Behind the Net, purely for the reason that it's a lot bigger, the font is a lot smaller, and it's kind of like, yeah, I'm just slower reading it than this. This felt like I was like whizzing through the pages, and with this I kind of have to switch on a little bit more, use a bit more brain power, and yeah. But that doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying it, because I very much am. It just takes a bit more brain power for me to read, which kind of makes the goal of 200 pages seem a lot longer. But so far, the first 200 pages have definitely made me realise why I love this series, why I love this world, the characters. Like, you're really thrown back in there. It's a lot more political than Fourth Wing, I will say that. Fourth Wing is very, almost quite like light, but not light, obviously if you know you know, but it's kind of like you're focusing more on the romance and getting into the college and things like that. It feels kind of exciting because, you know, we've just found this new college, we're just learning about it for the first time, whereas Iron Flame is definitely more like heavy politics. We're really getting into like the war, the battles, like, but yeah, I feel like we're really getting into like the nitty-gritty, like the true plot of the book right now. I feel like I'm really sticking my teeth into it. Is that the right saying? I don't know. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. And I also will say the romance in this feels like such a slow burn vibe. Like, the tension is real. The tension is definitely there, and it's making me really root for them, for the two characters together. Like, I'm obsessed with their romance, and I want more of it. That's really what's keeping me hooked as well, because I just want to read more of their romance, and we're not getting any. We're getting crumbs over here. So that's my update on Iron Flame, and I will also say I'm gonna give Behind the Net a 4.5 stars. I probably should have started with my review on Behind the Net before Iron Flame, but anyway, so Behind the Net is a 4.5 stars for me, which is kind of crazy because that is probably, that is the highest rating I've given out so far this year. I think I've read like 5 books. This is like it's up there. This is one of the top books so far of 2025. We're literally on like the 2nd week of January. I need to calm down. But yeah, it was, guys, if you're like looking to add a romance to your TBR, look no further. You found the one that you need to add. This one was so good. The tension, the romance, the chemistry, the cute aspects, the spice, like everything worked together to create such an amazing story, and I was just full on obsessed the whole way through. The guy is like super hard exterior, but he's such a golden retriever on the inside. The girl, you really root for her because she's getting over her past struggles and past trauma, and she's kind of becoming her own person and finding herself, and the way that they work together and the little glimpses of them that you see, like the the small acts of kindness that he does for her, like, it was just so good. The spice was like the perfect amount for the story. I just cannot wait to read more of the Vancouver Storm series. I feel like the next one will potentially be a 5-star for me. Don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like it will be because I know who it's going to be about, I'm pretty sure. And I am waiting for their story. I'm so excited. I feel like their story is just going to be amazing. And I think that's the one that Ellen Catherine here on YouTube also is. I think that's like one of her god tier all-time favourite books. So in Ellen we trust, and I feel like it's going to be one of my faves. I am obsessed with Stephanie Archer at the moment. I'm kind of reading this series and the other series that she has, like the Small Town one, at the same time. So yeah, I think she's going to become one of my favourite romance authors. Definitely recommend this one. But that is my update for right now. I am going to go and try read the next 100 pages. Today I have kind of started to read the first 100 a little bit earlier, so I'm not left at like 11 p.m. at night like, I have 200 pages to read. That's my update, and hopefully I'll be able to get the next 100 done, but it does take me a long time to read this book. I feel like I'm reading like the pace of a snail, so hopefully I can speed this up. I just love my Oodie so much, and I have 20 pages left to read tonight. I feel like I'm reading this so slowly and I'm really struggling to like get through it snappily. Like, not that I want to get through it snappily, but I just feel like I'm spending so much time on each page, which is really slowing me down. But that's where we're up to, if you can see, and I am really enjoying it. But I'm gonna read these 20 pages and then call it a night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day now. I have tomorrow left for the challenge, and that's it. So I have today and tomorrow left, which should allow me to finish Iron Flame, which will be incredible. I will just say, this is my update. Yesterday I found it so hard to read 200 pages of Iron Flame. Like, I was struggling. It felt like I was it felt like I was walking through treacle trying to get to the 200 mark. I felt like it was taking me so long, coming right off the back of Behind the Net, where I was like reading it like so quick. I would sit down and pretty much the 200 pages would be read. Compared to that, going into this, I feel like I'm reading it so slow, and it's making me just think like, oh, this is taking me ages. Even though I am enjoying it, it's just a big jump to go from Behind the Net, where I was reading it so quickly, to Iron Flame, where I am not reading it so quickly. The font is just very small. Like, no spoilers, but I don't know if you can see that. Like, the font is very small, so yeah, it's taking me a lot longer, but still I'm persevering. That's where we're up to in the book. I just feel like it's just taking me longer because of the font and how big of a book it is, and also there's so much going on, so much politics, so much world building, so many like plot twists, things happening, that you're constantly having to use your brain, which I do enjoy as well, and I am really liking it. And I'm glad that I'm finally finding out what is happening in the book. But one tip I will say, if you're in the same boat as me and you feel like it's taking you ages to get through, listen to a playlist, because I found a playlist yesterday on Spotify, and I'll link it down below because it's that good. It's so good. It's really making me like want to carry on reading. I feel like every song is perfect for the scene that I'm at, and it's really giving me like ambience, and it feels like I'm watching a film, but I'm not, I'm reading. So I'm going to link it. It's called Fourth Wing, a reading playlist by Jamila, but I'll link it anyway. But it's like the kind of songs are like orchestra. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like orchestra music, and it's like really making me feel the ambience of the book, and it's making me feel like I'm just in my head, a film is playing out, and I'm literally loving it. It's making me love it so much more. I only found this playlist last night, so yeah, I've not really had a chance to listen to it too much, but so good. That's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that, but I will link it anyway if you want a playlist to listen to while you read Iron Flame. But that was my update, so I'm going to get on with reading now. Please let me know if you have read Iron Flame down in the comments and what you thought of it. of the challenge now, which I'm very excited about because I don't want to read 200 pages again for a week because it's been quite hard. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like 200 pages actually is a big amount, and I low-key have been struggling to actually read like the full 200 pages. Like, this has been definitely a challenge for me. I've not failed though on any of the days, which I'm very proud of, and last night I did complete the goal. So we currently have 123 pages left of Iron Flame, and then I will have finished it, which is crazy because this has been on my TBR for about a year, which is too long. But yeah, we've nearly finished it, and then we'll have about 80 pages left to read. So I'm just going to pick up like something light, maybe a romance to get into for the last 80 pages. But for right now, I'm going to lock in and I'm going to finish Iron Flame. And I need to know what happens in the ending because everyone raves about the ending. Everyone says it's an incredible ending and it literally leaves you gasping. So I need to get to that because I need to know what happens. But so far I will say this book, without giving away spoilers if you've not read Fourth Wing yet, this book is very action-packed. I would say it's more action-packed in a way than Fourth Wing. However, because it's a bigger book, it is slower paced, so we do have chunks where you kind of feel like, okay, let's speed this along. It's getting a little bit dragged out, and I feel like for a lot of it we could have like took some chunks out and made it a little bit shorter, and it would have read a bit faster and not dragged in some places. But that's not to say I haven't enjoyed it. And I do think every scene ends up being important, but just the pacing, I feel like sometimes the scenes could have been cut down a bit, maybe made a bit shorter, a bit snappier, just to make it easier to get through, because some of the parts, I will say, have dragged out, and it has meant that it's taken me a lot longer to read. I will just say that if you're going into Iron Flame, because yeah, I do think obviously because it's such a chunky book, there's a lot of, I would say a lot of filler in here that could have been removed to make the story just flow a little bit faster. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna go read the rest of this book now. I've got some grapefruit juice, I've got my water, I've got my book of course, and I'm waiting for my headphones to charge because I need the playlist to read along with for the end of the book. I feel like it's going to set the scene so much. I am about to read the last 2 pages of Iron Flame, so I'm going to catch my reaction. Think this over. I need to just debrief with myself before I talk to you. So I've now finished Iron Flame, which means I have read, my hair looks a little weird because I've just got back from the gym. I've just, what was I saying? So that means I've read 123 pages today. So I do need to read 80 pages of a new book to officially round off this challenge and have officially completed it. 200 pages every day, yay. At the moment, obviously I will pop my like official rating on the screen, but at the moment I am gonna rate this book a 3.5 stars. This might seem low, but I feel like that's justified purely for the reason that it does not mean I didn't like this book, because I definitely did, and I am so excited for Onyx Storm because I feel like Onyx Storm is really going to be the book that like is the best in the series. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that one's really gonna hit hard and I'm so excited to read that one. However, this one, because it's the second book, it is a bit difficult because it's obviously setting up more world building. We're introducing new characters, we're really getting the politics laid out. We're basically gearing up for book 3, I feel like. So I did feel like it felt slow in some parts and I was kind of slogging through it a little bit, and it was taking me so long to read the page count each day, and I just felt like a lot of the time we could have rounded up some scenes quicker. I did still enjoy it, and I think the ending saved it for me. If the ending wasn't as shocking and as good and left us on such a cliffhanger as it did, then I probably would have rated it maybe just a 3 instead of a 3.5. But I am definitely happy that I've read this book, and I'm happy that I didn't give up, because the ending has just made me so excited for book 3, Onyx Storm, coming out next week. So because I want to kind of not go into a fantasy next, I want to just do like a nice light-hearted romance, my options for the next 80 pages are either The Wrong Mr. Right by Stephanie Archer or Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I feel like I'm going to go with this one just because it's kind of a crime that I've not read this one yet. I feel like everyone has read it and loved it, so I really want to see where I stand. If I love it, if I don't love it. I have read Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, which I have heard this one is very similar to, or that one's very similar to this one, so I would like to know which one I prefer. But yeah, I think I'm going to read 80 pages of this one to round off the challenge. I have just finished the goal for the day. I've read 80 pages of Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. So I've officially finished the challenge. I've made it through every day, which is super good. I'm really proud of that because it's actually allowed me to read so many books this week that I don't think I would have read, but I definitely wouldn't have read if I didn't do this challenge, because I normally tend to read like 1 or maybe 2 books a week, but I've literally read 3, including one massive one, Iron Flame, and then 80 pages of a 4th book, which is incredible. But this challenge was not to say that you should read 200 pages a day, because to me that is a really amazing amount of pages to read in a day, and that is a challenging goal. So I'm not saying that you guys have to read that or should be reading that, because I definitely would not be able to maintain this. But if you do read 200 pages a day, then hat off to you, because that is incredible. However, I have read 80 pages of this one, and I will just quickly say what it's about. So it's basically about, it flips in past and present timelines from when the characters were 13 to 14, and throughout their like adolescent years, their teenage years, where they were best friends in their kind of like holiday home in this like town, where the main character would go every summer because she lost her mum, so her dad bought the house to kind of give them a place to escape to go when they just want a change of pace, a change of scenery. And next door to that house is a boy called Elliot, and she quickly becomes best friends with him. And then it flicks from that and exploring their friendship and things like that and how they're growing up together to present day, which is, I think they're like 28, 29. And it's kind of seeing them now so many years later, and it keeps referring to this thing that's happened where they didn't speak for I think like 11 years or something. So you're kind of unsure of what happened for them to stop being friends, and you're reading to find out why, and also kind of thinking like, how did these two best friends not speak for all this time, and you really want to find out. So that's currently where I'm at in the story. We've not really met the characters too much, but it will be featured as the first book in my 24-hour readathon that I'm starting tomorrow. So if you do want to see my final rating and review on this book, then stay tuned for that, because that's going to be coming out pretty soon. So I'm excited to carry on reading it because it's reading really fast. I don't know if that's just because I've gone from Iron Flame into this one, very different change of pace, but so far I am enjoying it, and it feels good to read a more light-hearted romance. But yeah, I am going to end this video off here. These are the books that I managed to get to this week. So we started off by finishing Beartown, which I rated a 3.75 stars. And then we went in to read Behind the Net, which I settled on a 4 stars in the end. I really did enjoy this book though, and I'm so excited for book 2. I feel like book 2 is going to be a 5 star. And then we read one of my most anticipated books that I had on my TBR, one I've been meaning to read for ages, so it feels so good to be off of my TBR now. I rated this one a 3.5 stars. And we got to start Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, and so far I'm really enjoying this one, so I feel like this could be rated quite highly. And they are all the books that I managed to read this week. I feel like it's been such a fun time. I've really felt super accomplished every day, and it's so good that I've read all these books because I'm taking them off of my TBR, which is what I'm trying to do in 2025. So thank you so much if you stayed to the end of the video. As always, let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books and what you thought on them, if you liked them, disliked them. I'd love to know. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye guys.